see these teams are starting to come in. I'm hearing the call for the carousel straight away, so you'll get to see all these ponies racing very soon. So as they come in, get behind these teams, pick your favourite horse, pick your favourite colour. It makes all the difference. Get behind your favourite pony. And as they're coming out, they won't have their borders, but in a minute they will be when they're racing. And leading the charge in the orange, we have TNT. Behind them in the orange and white, we have Cone But Not Forgotten. Following up in the blue, we have Ice Ice Baby. Right in the red, we have Send It Siblings. Behind them in the lime green, we have Happy Little Accident. Following in the green with green stars, we have Just Drag. Behind them with the blackened flames, we have Hold Your Horses. And coming up in the last point, pretty in pink, we have Just Wing It, winning this heat so far. So get behind your favourite team, your favourite horse. And they do love to hear you scream and shout, so give them all of that.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there's the hardcore fans amongst you are still here around the arena on this Monday afternoon. So let's start the show as we mean to go on with a big round of applause for all the teams of Horseboarding UK. And it looks as though we could get a little,
lots of rain
which will change the game somewhat, won't it? Because all of a sudden they want to try and get their fast times down early, because if the grass starts getting that little bit moisture on it,
all the difference, especially for the borders, with this actually getting quite slick now in some places with the grass being bedded down on these undulating ground as well. That added rain will make a huge difference.
It is very full grass here. It's got full blades of grass, which
it's nice. I rode it last night on the e-board and it's nice to ride. There is grip, but with that rain I think you'll lose most of that because the top layer will just be slick.
Which will make for great entertainment.
We have a lovely time in here. Nice and dry in the rocks.
Let's just hope it doesn't come down too hard that we end up steaming up in here, because that would spoil our view.
Yeah, it's a real issue we get in here.
Yeah, we don't want that. And let's turn that heater down a touch, actually. I don't think we need it quite so much.
So it's quite an elevation to come from boarding into this lovely Carriage rocks here. I don't have to deal with the mud and rain anymore, which is quite nice.
Yeah, so let's see. Just want it taking a little bit of time by the looks of it.
Yeah, I don't know, just sort of maybe setting themselves up right. Tom's been ready for a little while, bouncing around as he does.
Yeah, so looking at the scores over the course of the weekend, we've got Top and Tails, going back, Section 89, 22, Just Drag on 23, Top and Tails on 27, and then Just Wing It out there with 33. So I think pretty much, if they've done most of the work, I think, this weekend. They've dominated the championship.
The line at this point, I believe.
Yeah, if they score, then they've pretty much got the cup. So but I mean, there's still lots that can happen in the rest of the heat. So here we go. There are away down this opening straight, and Harry being allowed to stretch out as he sees fit, 23 miles an hour into that first corner. Not the most aggressive or fastest, but there's also the season to think about as they make this first lap of the arena up to red back boots.
Yeah, pulling into this corner for the weave, you'll see from other teams. This is the only difference in the elite course, the weave, technical, tight, fast, lots of things going on. Can they get through clear?
Yeah, no. And they are clear. Good run from them. I mean, these guys have been having an absolutely fantastic season so far, and really racking up the points. Currently, I mean, they're staying. They'll do this. I would say it's a steady, fast run. They're not doing anything crazy into the split time.
Split time of 46, so about 6 seconds off their split time from this morning. So right off the pace.
Yeah, then just cruising through the chicane there. I mean, they could be paying a little bit of respect towards the ground just to make sure, but making throttling up now as they go across the Horseboarding UK box into 18 miles an hour into the far end of the arena, and still moving their way around. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause for Just Wing It.
With a time of 76.16. That is a good time for them to have on the board to show the other teams what they can and can't do.
Okay, Okay, so 76-16 puts them currently with the bonus point, 44 points in. There's a bit of a competition, I think, between Top and Tails and Just Drag.
I'm hearing one touch to add there down on the chicane.
Making that, yeah, we're getting that confirmed. That's 77. Yep, 77-16. Now it's Happy Little Accidents in the advanced class. They currently have 24 points over the weekend. The way the points work, ladies and gentlemen, for each heat there's a maximum of 10 points plus a bonus point. And depending on how many positions they're in, that's how many points they get. So here we go. These have 24 points currently. Making their way at 19 miles an hour. Goose is the horse, looking a little bit more sprightly than he was this morning. But it's still working hard there from the rider as they move into the split time.
21 seconds on the split, so it's very close to what we saw this morning.
And that's going to make things very interesting with as they move up closer to the Hold the Horses Send It siblings. And
that's right. Keeping the speed, keeping the pace. They lost that this morning on that corner, so really good to keep that pace moving forwards with Goose the Stallion.
Yeah, it's so really lovely line through that box diagonal there, 14 miles an hour, and making their way towards the finish line and enjoying this dry ground as well, because at the moment with it being drier, through the finish line with a time of 57-17, a round of applause for Happy Little Accidents.
Yeah, and that was a really good run for them, possibly one of their fastest of the day on their first run, so great to see.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just. I was looking at the points, and the computer does some funny things in the first rotation.
Always does.
Yeah, so it's just. I don't want to
wait until the end.
I'll wait until the end of the first rotation, and we'll have some accuracy. It probably does make perfect sense, Tom. Our programmer.
But coming in now, Ice Ice Baby, a team that's been with us at the start of the season, doing really well, building on every run. And I spoke to George earlier, we tightened his trucks last night and he said he feels so much more comfortable showing that getting from 15 to 20 miles an hour on their last run of the heats.
Yeah, I mean, he was very happy. I spoke to him briefly in between heats as well, and he was saying, yeah, he was excited. He didn't know we'd got 20 miles an hour, actually. So that's really good for them. Interesting, though, I don't think he's really been out there with any sort of moisture on the ground before.
He's had quite a dry season so far, and he was talking about lines before they went in, so I'm really interested to see how he takes these. A little bit nicer, wider line. He's cutting a bit tight before, and actually making it more and more comfortable every time he goes out.
You can actually see as well where the tracks kind of rolled that little bit. The boards seem to be that bit smoother than what they were yesterday.
And this is a good bit of pace on his bottom end on his heel side. Can he pull it in?
A little bit of a slip there, but he's done it. There's a little bit of a slip on the rear. I wouldn't say power slide, but like just for a moment.
Just a little bit of loss of traction.
Yes, exactly that. Into the speed trap, 14 miles an hour as they go through Burghley Marketing Corner, and gently building that throttle, building the pressure as they make this final turn towards this finish line. And a round of applause for Ice Ice Baby.
With a time of 57.86. I'm sure they're going to be happy with that.
Yeah.
Hard to tell. I can't remember what they did this morning.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I was just looking at the scores, but we could really be able to see this morning's heats as well.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
They finished with a 57.49.
So only 0.4 and a bit, 0.3 and a bit behind.
Great.
Yeah. And that's their first run.
Yeah.
So and it looks smooth, and the horse didn't seem to be working hard at all.
The rain is now coming in, and that is going to change it for the borders for sure.
Yeah, so now it's the team of Cone but Not Forgotten. Their development and growth over this weekend has been quite phenomenal with their new pony Darcy.
Yeah.
This is her first time competing at this event, and previously done dressage and the likes. And Catherine, the rider there, Catherine Lee, she both of the horses, the ones that produced, we've seen 16 miles an hour. Very powerful animals, really solid stamp of animals. So
actually, again, down 16 miles an hour is their fastest speed from this morning. So they're obviously feeling comfortable on this course now with this new horse.
Yeah, and more freely moving at the moment. Of course, there's been a couple of side steps that have happened over the course of the weekend, but generally the horse seems happier and happier as they go around the short end. And this is the intermediate class, ladies and gentlemen, with this team and the team before, which means they don't do the chicane, they don't do the weave, they just do the basic figure of 8 with the 90 degree in there, as they're now moving their way up to 11 miles an hour there as they go through the Burghley marketing corner there, and just allowing that pony just to stretch and run freely, ears forward, absolutely getting a hang of the idea. And a round of applause for Cone but not forgotten with a time of 65.12. It's not enough to get them there, but it's only 3 seconds of, no, sorry, 7.3 seconds. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong number there. Yeah, 7.3 seconds or 7.26 according to this one. Oh dear. Okay, so Send It Siblings now. Redback Boots sponsored team, as well as sponsoring the tour. They are very invested in the 2024 Advanced Champions, who are here to defend that championship. Garrett's brother and sister, Fenella and Joshua Walker Harris, at 23 miles an hour into that first turn. And at this point now, where you've had the challenge from Holgers,
huge hillside slide. I was about to say we haven't seen him testing the rain a lot himself either, and this is showing 17 seconds up on a split from this morning, Dan.
Yeah, the touch there on the 90, one ball down by the looks of it, making their way through. Ooh, big bit of slip there. You see the traction.
And another touch on the back wheel.
Again, this is what we mean, ladies and gentlemen. They're starting to lose grip now, and you can see the board starting to squirrel around underneath at 18 miles an hour. It adds a completely different dimension to trying to get around the course. Is he going to make the gate? Just in time. And a round of applause for Send It Siblings. 2 touches to be added to the time of
47.88 down makes it a 49.88.
It's still that's a really good run for them. I mean, it's a good run. They are the champions currently. They've got 43 points over the course of the weekend, and they are 7.3 seconds ahead of Happy Little Accidents. So I think they're okay with that, but it's what will Hold Your Horses do. But next it is the team of Section 89 making their way into the arena. And
we've got quite a few boarders here that I don't think have really been tested in the wet. We've had a few showers over the last season. Last season was quite dry. This season's been dry so far. So this is a real test for all these newer boarders.
Yeah, particularly, and I think though that's going to show with some of the newer teams, you know. But here we go. This is the team of Section 89 on the horse borrowed from Just Wing It, 23 miles an hour, so matching Just Wing It's time speed into that first turn exactly. This is doing their first full lap.
You can see the water starting to spray up from those wheels along with the grass flicking up from underneath them.
Yeah, now the sharp turn. As we go into the weave, this is the wrong side for this team. It's the wrong, so the horse is the element that's being favoured to go through the weave, and everyone else is having to deal with it.
And well done with the rope. You can see Orange about to get a huge pull, then passed it through his hand as the pull came and just caught it with the tips of his fingers. Really nice work there.
Yeah, that'll make a great shot. Yeah, as they make their way over past the Horseboarding UK flags into the split time.
50 seconds on the split.
And making their way now through AL
training, looking after us on the side of the pitch for those first health and safety people for us.
A little slip there as well from Orion, nearly taking out the same cone on Redbacks.
It's a tight corner as it is, Dan. That corner is really tight.
And it's dropping away now in the wet. 16 miles an hour as they make their way around. We're looking at the clock, 7 to 7. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's call them home for the finish line. A great run from the team of section 89.
With a time of 83.58, waiting on to hear a clear round. Clear round, they're going to be happy with that on a borrowed pony.
Yeah, I've been told way quicker than this morning from a statistician here in the box.
Laying the graves with all the numbers.
About 3 seconds quicker. Yeah, that brings them in section 89, 6.4 seconds behind just Wing It. Currently, if the race is finished right now, interestingly enough, section 89 and Just Drag would have 31 points over the course of the weekend, which would mean, but here we go, this is Hold Your Horses, and this is quite an important one. Hold Your Horses have not been really tested in the rain, or at least Ash hasn't ridden in rain for about 8 years or something, so let's see how they get on now. 22 miles an hour. They are hunting the siblings. They are moving in on them ever closer.
With a tail end step, you can see.
Lovely work there. Oh my goodness.
18 seconds on the split. Arm goes up, calling for it from Ash.
Yeah, I'm not going to say too much, George.
Sipping on the toe, she held it well. The whole team's gone a bit disarray, but still working through. Can they get this tight corner back in? Ash is down.
Good release. Good release, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause for the team Hold Your Horses. You know, Ash there did a really good, that turn through Free Squeech Union corner. That was a beautiful turn.
Lovely.
That really was good.
A bit of slide, she just held it underneath her. But as we say, when one corner goes wrong, one gate goes wrong, the next two are even worse.
I think that kind of started in the 90s. Ash seemed a little bit too much near the middle of the
inside
gate.
line,
but a little bit inside. And then that didn't really, until we got around to Redbacks, that's where it actually came undone.
She needs to start the entrance to that 90th slightly further over and cut in.
That's definitely where I would be. I would be right behind the horse on the right hand side of that gate, approaching that cone. And as soon as the horse drops in, I'd be dropping in right
especially
behind it.
with this rain, and you're going to be pulled across that toe edge. It's definitely the best foot line.
But I mean, a great bit of work there. It's lovely to see that.
And still holding it together on that chicane even when it did go wrong. It was so close, she nearly got it back as well.
And that corner's challenging. It's taken all the boards out this weekend. We've seen 2 or 3 boards.
It's taken me out many years before.
So here we go now. It is the team of Striker Pose. Struggled a little bit in their first heat this morning, mainly with direction over anything else. But the 15 miles an hour. They initially going into the advance, they were a little bit concerned about the newness and the novice of the horse. But the horse has been doing really well over this weekend and other weekends that it's raced this year. So that be Sue Scott, the horse rider there, really working well to bring it down.
28 on the split.
And I think at this point they're probably thinking that we really just need to get a time down and build on it, because I think maybe last time they kind of came out fighting.
Well, they had a really good heat yesterday, and they obviously felt very comfortable. But on the change of the course, it does make a huge difference, and they just lost that direction, and then it caused them to lose their first run, which was their build a run, so they had to fight from there.
And I think part of it was that the four posts are missing out of the centre of the arena, and that was used as a guidance before. So 10 miles an hour at the moment. Of course, if they complete this run, they will automatically go into 3rd place. So making their way very tentatively towards the finish line.
Making sure they get a time down, get a time on the board, and then go from there. So great to see, good release with a time of 75.05 and clear round. So they're only going to build from that.
Yeah, round of applause there for Strike Pose. Not necessarily in the mix with Hold the Horses, with Happy Little Accident, and Send It Siblings, but the time's on the board now. They can start to build on it, and it makes a big difference psychologically, doesn't it?
Well, that's what they were missing this morning, I believe. They lost that starting run to then build from, so then they had to struggle to try and get one, and unfortunately lost the board right on the last line, so they were just fighting to get a run on their last one.
Yeah, so here we go now. This is the team of Just Drag. And these guys are an elite team, and they've been throttles moving up now as they go down this opening straight. 4 miles an hour now as they make this right now.
That's brave on this ground on their first run, but are they thinking it's going to get worse, Dan?
Yeah, you know, all of a sudden you start becoming very focused on the board rider when they go into that speed. Then you're like, how's the board rider doing? Because lovely slip there, lovely power slide, and you can see he's pushing that back of the board round.
Now he hasn't got all that grip.
Yeah, and he's probably finding that a world of ease easier. And you'll see.
Good clean weave from them there. First clean weaving today. Brilliant to see it.
Yeah, so you'll see there that the board rider kind of sits behind the board, pushing it. Not often when it's turning, it's not necessarily tracking, is it? It's power slide.
Yeah, definitely.
Into the corner.
50 seconds. Dead on the 50-second mark there.
And now looking in the lovely little turn there as well. Nice little one stride flying change there from the pony, double checking, making a good way, looking for this diagonal. You see the horse rider actually working quite nicely to look for that line whilst moving towards it. 17 miles an hour now, building towards the finish line. 77 seconds on the clock so far. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause for the team of Just Drag.
With a time of 84.17, I believe that puts them into second place.
And that is 84.17 puts them in third place, 0.6 behind section 89. Yes. So yeah, just to conclude, so Just Drag it going to third place, 0.6 of a second behind section 89, 7.01 seconds in behind Just Wing It. Now, this is the team of Top and Tails. It is Amy Richards on the horse, the 2025 champion, and also UK champion, also the 2023 international champion. On her other team, Blues and Twos. Now she is away with Little Indy as they thunder down this 26 miles an hour into that first turn. Joshua Walker Harris is on the board and really nearly slipping out there. The board was sliding away from him and it just came back to him, didn't he? He just found that right bit of grip that prevented him from
just planted that back foot. He really did.
Okay, now making way for the 3-cone route. This looks, yeah.
They do it. Yes, they can. Clean weave, and that was quicker than what we saw this morning. They are really up for a fight, Dan.
Yeah, Josh sitting into that corner, driving the backside of that board around. You can see, so it's sliding into it. Now looking for this 9th degree.
43, they are dead on what Just Wing It just did. They are fighting for first place here, Dan.
Yeah, into the chicane now, very tight. The tension is building around this corner. Has he got enough? He's got enough. He knew he had to dig in early on that corner to make sure he had enough grip as they make their way across the centre of the arena now. It's now 18 miles an hour. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to start calling them home. They know there's only 2 gates, 1 gate to go. Can he hold in there for that 1 gate for the finish line? Time of
73.08.
Ladies and gentlemen, Top and Tails go into first place.
What a run. That is the best hoarding we have seen from Josh ever.
Yeah.
Ever. In the rain, kicking in with that back foot fully forcefully around that course, knowing when to put the slides in, knowing when to hold it. That was perfect.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you know what that means. That means the gauntlet has been properly thrown down. It means that Top and Tails now, they don't have a lot of fast runs, so they've got to get the fast run in early. That means that they've put their cards on the table. That means Just Wing It, who are coming out now, know exactly that they need 4.1 seconds to take first place back. And Tom Kilroy is saying we can do that in 1. So they're going to go 4 seconds faster, or attempt to go 4 seconds faster in the wet than the last team we just saw out. So here we go. They are away down this opening straight. The fight is on, and this is what we want. 28 into the corner.
Planting his hand into the ground as we call for the 28.
Oh, great bit of work there. Ducking into that and just focused as they make their way. You see the throttle coming off. Now, the weave is a very good point for the Top and Tails. It's their best element, really. And let's see what these guys do.
A lot of work went into getting around that last cone.
I thought that last cone ball wobbled, if I'm honest. Now making the way up to the split time. This is going to be all telling.
Split time 42 on the split. They are a second up on the split, Dan. This is a race now.
He's out. Release.
No, I know.
Yeah, okay, so great race there. So sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen.
Pushing the limit and finding the edge.
Well, it's the worst place for the handle to release because it can bounce off all the cones and it's going all over the place, so it can make it a little bit tricky.
Just awkward on that section there with the chicane turns coming towards you and the ground undulating, board flying all over the place.
And that's the moment of panic, but also sometimes the horse riders don't realise they've got the board rider. So if you don't get that contact to them, then they can end up dragging all sorts of things to go on. So, but either way, what that means is that's one run down from Just Wing It. Tom lost the grip. Top and Tail stay in first place for this heat
and potentially 2 bonus points.
So currently Top and Tail will hold bonus point from the first rotation, and now can they then prevent Just Drag from getting a bonus point, or Just Wing It can't get a bonus point because they've just lost it out. So here we go. This is Happy Little Accidents, currently sitting in second place, 7.3 seconds away from Send It Siblings in first.
Miles an hour on that top end. Seems to be his constant speed on this top end. That 90 miles an hour, topped it at 20 this morning.
Yeah, and just each work going into the split time.
21 on the split, so again, same split that we saw on the last run. They've got a real good constant average pace in this pony. Just hoping they want to get a little bit more go.
And like what we saw yesterday, we saw one of those Send It siblings do a smooth run, a smooth run, which was about 3 seconds faster.
Yes. Just
simply, although it looked slower. So that's kind of where these guys are working for right now. 14 miles an hour. Their previous time was 57.17.
We're 50 seconds now, Dan.
Started to try calling them home because that's going to shorten up that distance. Oh, and through the finish line.
With a time of 58.58. Unfortunately, not enough to beat their earlier run down.
No, I think that's it's a long weekend, isn't it, at this point? There's been a lot of wind. I thought your comment earlier was that I think all the winds kind of drain the energy.
Blowing the energy out of all of us, It's definitely
when you've been on the showground for 3-4 days, it's like, so here we go, Ice Baby. Again, got there 20 miles an hour earlier today. These are another team, again, so often we see these tables very close. At the moment, every class, first and second, are separated by about 7 seconds.
Not bad.
Ice Baby currently on a 57.86 in the intermediate category. It is George Evans on the board and Izzy Howell on the horse. The horse is Tara, and used to be.
You can hear the call of the pits.
Two fans clearly in the pits. 16 miles an hour, so they make their way around. Tara used to race with the Just Wing It team actually in the elites, but she's all of a handful and quite excitable at high speeds. So it's great to see that she's just chilling out a little bit now.
24 on the split, so I think up on their split from earlier. It seems slow on the entrance, but smoother through this rest of the course.
Yeah, and of course George Evans, getting this experience on the board. His only first race competition was last year at Sandringham.
The baptism of fire at Sandringham.
Yeah, and then since then he's been with us all season. 14 miles an hour. Can they improve on their time?
50 seconds now at the top end.
It's going to be very close.
Here come opening up.
Okay then, ladies and gentlemen. Oh no, and he's down! Release. You don't get much closer to the finish line than that, George. You've done all the work. Maybe you should hop over it or something.
It would have been about 0.03 faster than the previous run.
Right, well, there you go. It's good effort.
So that's all right.
Yeah, I think that's the closest. I've seen them.
Pretty.
Yeah, that's on the line.
Yeah.
Literally on the line.
And then the long walk back to the pits. Done all that work.
Next time, George, maybe hold on. Did you think the race had finished already, mate? Is that what it was? Anyway, there we go. So, here we go. Next.
Coming in, we have Cone, but not forgotten, the team Brighton, who we've just seen, and now they have a bit of an opening. They are building every time they go out, and they are getting closer and closer.
Well, they made an improvement earlier today of 20 seconds in between two races. Now, equally, they don't want to ruin their experience, but it's nice to see that the horses stretching out a little bit. And now, as the horse
matching what we've just seen from the other team.
Yeah, so then it's going to start, the focus will start. Well, it's really lovely movement from this pony, just running very cleanly and precise, very precise. Board Rider's starting to get a little bit of challenge now.
23 on the split, again, same as what we've just seen from the other team. They are matching the score. We've just seen this is a little bit of a fight happening there.
And what did you say the time was?
57.83 is what they
So we could see a very, very tight time here.
Well, at 50 seconds of that top gate, they're going to be matching again. We're at 43 now.
12 miles an hour. This could be even ahead, are we thinking, or very, very close, ladies and gentlemen.
51 at this top end.
People taking first place here. They've just got this one turn to make. Can he get through the... Yes, he can, with a time.
58.55.
A round of applause for Cone, but not forgotten, who stay in second place by 0.7 of a second. Wow. They stay in second place by 0.7 of a second. That shows a massive improvement.
That 0.7 is over in this corner, across the diagonal as they came towards the speed trap. That's the only point that I can see that they lost a bit of time on that run.
It was very smooth, it was very precise. Now, here we go. It is the team of... Send It siblings, currently in first place with a 49.88. Hold Your Horses didn't get a time down, but we're looking very dangerous.
And Josh, the only person doing two teams this weekend, legs on the end of the weekend are going to be starting to feel it, so let's see how he manages this.
Yeah, they're not hanging around, they're not giving the Hold Your Horses team a chance. 22 miles an hour, because they know if they get it together, that Hold Your Horses team, they know they are faster, but they've got to hold it, you've got to be able to get it together. Of course, this team's got 3 years worth of experience now racing at all these venues.
17 seconds up on the split.
Wow, that's quick. Into the ALR training and in the tree and through the chicane, ducking into this corner. Lovely power slide. Great work.
Twitched the board out and pulled it straight back in and lined straight for the middle of that gate.
And into the speed trap once again. 17, 18 miles an hour. Ladies and gentlemen, call them home. They're trying. This is a defensive run. They don't trust what the other teams can do for the finish line. And with a time of
47.95.
That's worth the improvement. That's a 2-second improvement thereabouts, and those 2 seconds are a hard 2 seconds to find back from the other team. But of course, maybe Hold Your Horses don't need to worry about the team. What Send It siblings are doing. Maybe Hold Your Horses just need to focus on doing their race and kind of not get drawn into the fight.
They've got to be racing themselves at this point.
Yeah, as much as we might antagonise the situation with the things that we say.
We like to see a race.
Yeah, of course.
For the team itself, they've got to be racing their own time.
So, as we say, Hold Your Horses have been chasing Send It siblings all weekend, slowly hunting them down, half a second at a time, very fast into that first corner.
3 miles an hour.
So that's up there with Send It siblings. That's in there. That's certainly in their ballpark. Now, Cam, I'm not going to say too much.
That was a lovely toe side. That whole corner was a lovely smooth corner from them. 18 seconds. They're about a second off on the split time. They can still
nice
do it.
turn though on that 90 compared to the last one.
Yeah, for sure. And a better line by the looks of it onto the chicane. Can they hold this tight corner on the hillside edge, ducking in? Can she hold it?
For the power. Oh, and down. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and a round of applause for Hold Your Horses there
as well. Is she okay?
It was just making sure.
She's okay. Thumbs up. There was a slight facial drag on that crush. Because I think her face was mainly used as a break.
If you are watching on the live stream, rate that fall.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, rate that
That
fall.
was a good crash. You can see the board just overturned slightly underneath, especially in that squat position. And as soon as her front wheels caught that traction, when the board was sideways, it just tipped her straight out.
It's got to wait for that power to come on out of the corner. And there's a lot going on, and when you put yourself in that very low position, it has benefits, but it also has limitations.
Exactly that.
And unfortunately, that's one of them. But you know, you can see how well that team is doing. They only got to pull a run together, and they're going to be up there.
Improving on one section and then finding the next difficult section, and then they're going to work out what went wrong, come back, do it again.
Yeah, here we go. It is striker pose now, heading into the arena. Slightly more proactive, no, definitely more proactive than their first run. Sue Scott on the horse. The horse is striker, 17 miles an hour. And I'm pretty sure this striker's the next race horse, or at least breeding wise.
Looks like it might be.
And Thomas Gent on the board, making their way up to the 90.
25 on the split time.
So that previous time was 75 seconds, quite a long way off with the team. But at this point, given the problematic first heat of the day, I think they're focusing on getting around and being precise, like we've seen with some of the teams. And you know, speed will come if you just take that time over it. And this, of course, again, they've just got to finish 13 miles an hour. They've got third place kind of nailed down for this heat. As they make their way around the final corner for the finish line. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Striker Pose.
With a time of 64.80.
It's nearly 10 seconds improvement on their previous time.
And as I say, just smoother. Keeping the speed up, but keeping it smooth, allowing the ponies to go around, making sure the lines are right, and just building.
And as well, what I like about Striker Pose, they don't get drawn into any fights at any point.
They're racing their own
They
race.
do their thing, and it's like if there's I might say never. That team's previous combination, which was pull a fast one.
Yes.
We saw them in many a fight.
Many a fight.
But I guess they
big spills as well. It's a big spill for that team. So nice to see them fighting their own fight.
So we go into Just Drag, into the elite class currently.
Currently running up the arena at 23 miles an hour around this top end. Sean digging in, look at the arm being pulled out of his socket there.
Yeah, good bit of way. You see him sitting very smoothly behind the back of the board there. He's really got a measure of how much grip there is and isn't on that corner. They're currently now in fourth place. They are 0.6 seconds behind section 89. And
had a lovely week before. Let's see if they can replicate that now.
we're 11 seconds behind top and tails.
Wow, Sean was right on the furthest point of that handle. It all tipped away from him, but he held on and he's still going.
You see their throttles come right down as they regather themselves as a team. That's often the case. It happens often very quickly. Now coming their way up to the 90-degree split time.
51 on the split down.
Yeah, and now they're right off the pace, so I guess this is turning more and more into a school run. Perhaps
Sean's just relaxing now, chilling, having some fun on that board.
Yeah, perhaps maybe it was a little bit of an issue with the pony that was like, maybe the pony getting a little bit too excited and pulling away, and they thought, you know what, let's just do a school run because the horse is just getting that touch excitement. 14 miles an hour, and as they come through the solids turn at the moment for the finish line, and with a time of
89.69, one touch to add.
And a round of applause for Just Drag. Can we get...
So sometimes there are things that appear in the course, and whether it might be mud, anything else.
So yeah, the final gate of the chicane. We're going to hold the racing for a moment. The final gate of the chicane, the board rider touched something. It popped up in the air. It looked like a shoe. It might have been a bit of mud from here.
It looked like it was playing around, so it could have just been a bit of mud from that back wheel while sliding about.
No,
He lost the keys. Bit of fluff, bit of mud, bit of turf.
Maybe it's one of Henry's old bits of jewellery or something. I saw something glint. I've got eyes like a magpie, I'll have you know.
I was about to say we take spectators.
Okay then, so
it is too long, you see shoes.
Yes, yeah. So now, interesting run now. So Top and Tails currently in first place with a 73.08. The closest on them is Just Wing It. They have one attempt left, and they are 4.1 seconds behind. So are Top and Tails going to do this run, or are they going to pull this run, throwing the chessboard back at Just Wing It? And it looks as though they are doing just that. They're sitting on their 73.08, and they're going to give up this run and see what Just Wing It come back with. If Just Wing It come back and beat their time, that means they've got a run in the tank to do that final run of the day.
Does that mean that Just
Drag
have gained a bonus point?
Have gained a bonus point, yes, exactly. So by running off that run, Just Drag gain the bonus point from that rotation. Now, currently, and I'm sure I've got all the bonus points on this table, but what I am seeing is currently Section 89 and Just Drag currently in joint third place with 30 points over the course of the weekend, if the competition finished now. I'm seeing Just Wing It with 42 and Top and Tails with 38. So the fight that's going on isn't about the cup at this point.
No.
It's about points in the championship. And
long game.
Yeah, it's okay, so just finding out that Ash from Hold Your Horses has been cleared by the paramedics passing a head test. So here we go. Top and Tails. Sorry, Just Wing It now. Need a sub 73.08. That's 4 seconds faster than they've been so far today, and it's the end of the weekend as they go into this first corner at 25 miles an hour and accelerating.
I'm already wobbling a bit more.
Speech Union quartering of the arena. Nothing too crazy. That was very controlled turn into the split time.
43 on the split, so they're down on the split that we saw from TNT. They're a second down on that split down.
So if Top and Tails, if they don't do this run, then Top and Tails don't need to do their last run. That's the gamble.
Anchored into that corner, they're making sure he's on the inside line.
Now look at the stretch on that pony as it rips across the arena, looking for the speed trap once again at 18 miles an hour. Tom getting very low. Big heel side slide as he goes around that corner. Low
and
to the ground
here.
and for the finish line with a time of
71.21.
Retaliation.
And is that a clear round? I believe it may be.
So with that run, Just Wing It go back into first place. 71.21 seconds puts Top and Tails to the deficit by 1.9 seconds. So Top and Tails know what they have to do. They played the game, they gave them the run, and now they've got a gamble on it now. But now at least, this is the tactic of doing it that way means that now you know what Just Wing It have got.
Now they've got the chance to beat them.
Yeah.
They know what to aim for.
Yeah, whereas if they run that second, and it gives the horse a bigger rest, and it gives the board rider a bigger rest.
Exactly.
So it'd be interesting to see. That's the final run of the heat. Now we have, it is Happy Little Accidents currently in second in the advanced. They are 9.2 seconds behind. They haven't improved. Their time got a bit slower in the second run. They got 57.17, 58.58 in the second, and 16 miles an hour. So this could be a bit of a training
Yeah, training runners when they come out and have some fun. They're definitely a team that likes to race whatever. So they're just here for the ride, having a nice time.
After all, we are here because it's not very often you get the opportunity to have somebody set a bunch of cones out for you on the lawns of Burghley House, and you'd be allowed to ride one.
Usually we'd be being chased.
Yeah, so look very smooth though so far, very very precise again.
Oh, there, nicely. The Groove's actually putting a bit of power on that exit to the chicane.
He's more of a long distance horse, I feel, than a sprinter, I'm going to be honest. Into the speed trap, 11 miles an hour, coming around the top end of the arena. So,
they're having a lovely time on the back there.
Yeah, nice and relaxed run. Ladies and gentlemen, they've had a fantastic weekend. A round of applause for Happy Little Accidents, finishing out their races here at Burghley with 32 points, which if everything stopped now, that would mean that they would be in third place in the advanced champion over the weekend. Okay, so we're hearing that more teams are opting. So Ice Baby currently 57.86 on their final run, with Comb But Not Forgotten only 0.7 of a second behind them.
Interesting call.
I'm hearing are going to take a schooling run. So, which is
maybe it's
unless they're going to school Comb But Not Forgotten.
Wow, this is an interesting decision. Maybe
because they're leaving the door wide open for that team that's only just over half a second behind you. I mean, 16 miles an hour. Although maybe they again, we're thinking the horse getting a little bit sprightly, a little bit excitable, and actually,
it's about the season. It's not. They've done a whole weekend's racing, and they're happy with what they've done. Maybe 26 on the split,
and they've been gently pushing the board rider, but now maybe because this is something that we saw from Tara in her elite days, was that she could get a little bit headstrong and certainly fight the rider somewhat, convinced that she could go around the course at 1,000,000 miles an hour without anybody else.
She could, just nobody else could stay on.
12 miles an hour as they make this turn. And again, great weekend for George Evans on the board. And Izzy Howell on the horse, Ice Baby,
with a time of 63.33,
and that's 5 seconds off their previous time. So that's like a reasonable time.
But George will be happy. You just got to cross the line this time.
Maybe it was for George.
Maybe it was
just so he doesn't get it in his head that the line's a bit further, a bit closer than it actually is. You see, it's a bit like the same way you have to train horses, because horses are creatures of habit. You also have to teach board riders in the same way, you see. So he would get into a habit of just throwing himself on the floor in the wrong place. So here we go. It is Comb But Not Forgotten with a chance and an opportunity on this final run of Burghley. 0.7 seconds behind Ice Baby, and let's see what they're going to do. I mean,
they've had an amazing weekend. Little things coming up, and they just worked through brilliantly. There's a bit of a start seeing from this team. They're up for a fight. 19 miles an hour.
Yeah, loosening those reins. You can see the horse running there, and the rider must be feeling a lot more confident to allow, and the horse must be feeling more confident as well.
It looks more confident. You can see the way he's running. Just looks a lot happier and comfortable almost.
Yeah, and nice, relaxed, and confident that the horse rider and the board rider is with us. Very close. That is very close. Going into the chicane now. Oh, sorry, not the chicane. Go round that short side of the arena. Looking for a red back boot. Sorry, I got the wrong course for a moment. Looking for across the middle of the arena.
Could be going for first down. This is a really good run from this team.
15 miles an hour time. Okay.
48 seconds, 49, 50 seconds at the top, matching what we saw from Ice maybe at that top end. If they can keep the speed on now, they might just
ladies
do it.
and gentlemen, a round of applause for Combe but Not Forgotten with a time of
57.29.
Ladies and gentlemen, Combe but Not Forgotten go into first place for this heat, and they go into first place by 0.6 of a second.
Wow.
A round of applause for them. A fantastic weekend. They're going to be so happy with that. Everybody else is very happy for them as well. It's really good to see. Particularly after the problems that they were having with their previous horse, to have stuck with us and come back with a new horse is fantastic.
Coming back looking fresh almost, like a real refresh.
Like a new team.
Really like a new team. It's lovely to see that.
Okay, so looks like Tom is setting himself up there. Looks like his board's got a bit tighter. You think he's tighter than board? And that's why he's having to hop the front.
He's going to have to really
set himself. He set himself. If I didn't know better, I'd say this is going to be a bit of a quicker run. Striker Pose currently in third place. They know what everybody else's times are, 17 miles an hour. So I would say they're hunting happy little accidents at a 57.17, but they can. That's what I would argue for second place in this heat.
Oh, passing the rope in. Interesting point there, but holding it. This is on the inside of
that corner.
Big slack.
You could have got, see, that line that can give you a bit of a swing, sending you out to the outside.
Get slack again here. Can he hold it in? I think it's these tight lines that he's taking. And again, look, slack there, but holding well. Still on the inside again, but actually the horse was quite wide through that.
Nice run across the arena there. Really
a bit pacier than we've seen from them before, Dan.
Yeah, you can really see 14 miles an hour. The horse rider lengthening and shortening that stride just as she needs to. The horse
pulled over the front a little bit. He's got to pull back onto that back foot.
Fully understanding what's required for the finish line with a time
57.35.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Strike Oppose, who stay in third place by 0.2 of a second. 0.2 of a second separates Strike Oppose and Happy Little Accidents. So, we're nipping at the heels there for sure.
These categories are really tightening up down. At the beginning of the season, there were some big gaps opening, but now, this weekend, we really see a closing of the pack. All the times are getting within hundreds of seconds. But coming in now, we have Just Drag. We saw a great run from them before. What are they going to do?
Yeah, well, we've seen an 84.17 and 90.69, so they could be thinking of building their time up. I mean, it's a long way, 13 seconds to first place.
But they're going to go for it.
The fight on
26 miles an hour.
27 miles an hour as they go around that corner. I don't think I've seen them go this fast.
No,
so
I don't.
everybody should hold on to their horses and hold on to their hats at this stage, because quite literally anything could happen. So they took that second run, definitely have a schooling run,
on this bottom curve.
1 second to add, and this is the accuracy now. At higher speed, is the accuracy still there? This is what we have to gain. This is what the elite teams, top
messy
elite
but
teams,
clear.
yeah, have got to, and that's really difficult to do. Horse coming down.
Sean had a much better exit to that squeeze though. He didn't have the rope in the wrong hand. He got through it in a nicer wider line. Coming for the split time on the 90th degree. 46 seconds on the split.
Okay, so probably section 89 is under threat with this run currently. So looking at
Sean digging in really hard there on that undulating ground.
Yeah, and making their way across. Really strong stride coming in from horse Rolo and into the speed trap, 15 miles an hour as they throttle up. But there's this little kick out in this corner which can cause a few problems, and took them out earlier today for the finish line with a time
of 59.04, 79.04. A huge adage on their time from before.
And moves them into third place by my maths. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause with one touch is 80.04. They go into third place. That gives them 31 points over the course of the weekend. Now, I believe it is the final run. It is top and tails. This is for the heat, not for the weekend. It is just for the heat. They have 1.9 seconds to find, and they're going to be looking for your support. 1.9 seconds. I thought I'd said something completely wrong then. They've got 1 hour to find.
No, it's just this.
It's close.
It's close. It's doable.
It's
and
close.
It looks like they're going to go for it.
Has the pony got the gas? That's the big question. All the way down to this opening corner, 25 miles an hour. And this little pony does well. Are they going to
ducking under that post there?
So close to the cone that she had to duck underneath the pole, making their way around. And it's a lot of
conversations coming past this box down. There's a lot of chat with this team. I think she asked about speed on the weave and said go for it. Looks like they are.
Of course they are. They're throwing caution to the wind.
And he took on a cone and survived, and he's still going somehow.
Oh wow, amazing that he can ride out that cone, which is currently
he's got whipped out hard at this top end.
Yeah, looking now for the 90 degree, absolutely flat out, and split time.
42 on the split.
Okay, so 2 seconds. It looks like Just Wing It might have this as they go into a beautiful bit of a slide. Come through there again. Really getting to enjoy this wet at speed.
Another Carriage on the course.
You know what I was saying about accuracy at high speed? Well, what we're seeing here is a lesson in how to knock all the cones down. But for the finish line, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a massive round of applause for the team of Top and Tails, fighting till the last with a time of
72.81 with many touches to add.
Which, was closer. It would have, it was closer. It wasn't quite close enough.
We're just waiting on how many touches.
The ref's just getting his calculator out.
He's actually counting on fingers. I'm sure, just pointing in areas of how many there are.
Okay, so going from the intermediates. On the intermediates. And the cough. In the intermediates, in second place in this heat was Ice Baby, and in first place was Cone But Not Forgotten. Over the course of the weekend, Ice Baby's got 33 points, and Cone But Not Forgotten 27. So Ice Baby got the cup there. Then going into the intermediates, over this event, or over this heat, Hold Your Horses unfortunately retired. Ash wasn't feeling very good after that second crash, so no points there. In third place was Strike a Pose, in second place Happy Little Accidents, and in first place Send It Siblings. Over the course of the weekend, with all the points added up, we have Strike a Pose with 28, Happy Little Accidents with 32, Hold Your Horses with 36, and Send It Siblings with 43.
Send It Siblings getting their lovely Trophy 30 cup there. Big cheer for them.
And then in the elite, we have in fourth place for this heat, Section 89. In third place, Just Drag. In second place, Top and Tails. In first place, Just Wing It. Over the course of the weekend, they're holding on for the heat. Over the course of the weekend, we have Section 89 with 29 points, Just Drag with 31 points, Top and Tails with 36 points, and for the first time of getting their name on that cup, the 10th one on there, it is Just Wing It with 43 points. Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I can see you're all true fans of horseboarding for staying with us on this late bank holiday Monday. Thank you, it's been amazing. Well, next month at Sandringham for the driving trials there, and we'll also if you want to watch it back, maybe you'll catch yourself on the live stream, Horseboarding UK on YouTube.
For sure, and ladies and gentlemen, the last of you that are still watching with us, if you've taken any photos or videos from around the arena, please do tag us on all social media platforms when you post them at Horseboarding UK. We love to see them, we love to share them around, and if you take a good snap, it may be shared with the teams themselves or us with thousands of followers, so tag us at Horseboarding UK. Thank you very much.
And if you've spent all your time